Hi everyone, and welcome to today's live Facebook video. I'm Janet, the Women's Wellness Warrior from the Women's Health and Wellbeing Service in Gosnells, and I've chosen the topic today to share with you how do you find social activities in your local area. So we all know that staying socially connected, having friends, good relationships in our lives is absolutely crucial to positive mental health. I know that I certainly enjoy having a laugh with people around me and enjoy adult conversation every day. And if I have a period of time for 2 or 3 days where I don't have someone to talk to, it starts to, I feel my mood drop. I don't have things that stimulate me intellectually, and I just start to sort of get caught up in my own thoughts. So welcome wherever you're tuning in from today, whether it is locally in Gosnells or somewhere further afield. My tips and ideas today will be relevant wherever you live. However, I have lived and worked in the local area for my whole life, so I may be able to give you some more local tips if you live near Gosnells. And if you're joining me live today, I would very much welcome your comments and ideas as we go along, so I can add them to my video. So I can see that Annette has joined me. Hi Annette, nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining me. So I'll just get started with just essentially ideas that came to my mind based on my own experience. I know that for some women, finding social activities and connecting with other people can be a real challenge. It's not something that comes naturally for all of us. Some of us are natural introverts or have had perhaps negative, isolating social experiences in the past that's brought up a lot of anxiety and fear in reaching out to new people. So whatever your situation is, you can take the information on board and use it in ways that you feel will be useful for you. So as I said, wherever you live, one of the great places to start when you're trying to find a social activity or a hobby group or an exercise class that you'd like to do is your local council. So local government exists to provide basic services in our community to make our communities livable. And I used to work for a council years ago, and there was an old saying that councils exist for the 3 R's: rates, rubbish and roads. However, I was working in the community programs department, and my manager at the time said, well, we're here to create the 4th R, and that was recreation. So undoubtedly community connection is essential for people's happiness in places that they live. So fortunately, in today's day and age, councils provide a lot of services for local people to enjoy in their neighbourhood and their local community. So if you start by contacting your local council, there are different ways that they provide services for you to enjoy. And I would highly recommend that you start with libraries. So modern libraries these days are not just for borrowing books or listening to watching videos or listening to audiobooks. They really have become a hub in our community. So they're a meeting place, they're a place to find resources, to connect over the internet, but they're quite often now providing hobby groups. It's a place for people to meet socially, whether it's one-on-one, to have a conversation or do a puzzle at the table. But councils are also offering a lot of free meetup groups in their libraries. So you may find, for example, a board game club or a language group or a craft group. So libraries have meeting rooms, safe spaces for people to come together and meet and connect. So if you contact your local library to find out what's happening in your area, you'll find they've got a range of programs, right from children, story time, rhyme time, so things based around language, reading books, singing songs, right through to programs for teenagers such as Lego building or a writers club. And then again for adults and seniors, they'll have, as I said, language groups, book clubs, board game groups, all of those types of things. And you'll probably find that your local library is, within a 10 or 15 minute commute of your home, so you don't have to travel far. And the other great thing about that is that you're likely to meet people that live in your local area that share similar interests, and you may strike up a friendship or a conversation which leads to something further. So that's number one tip from me. Check out what's happening at your local libraries. Local councils also provide recreation centres, swimming pools and gyms, fitness classes. So again, if you contact your local council, find out where your local facility is. You may be setting yourself the goal to become fit, particularly coming out of COVID-19 isolation. It's really important that we all remain physically active and fit and well. So councils again provide low cost, high quality fitness classes, swimming lessons, often physio based classes in hydrotherapy pools or in centres where they have physiotherapists coming in. There's often mums and bubs swimming classes, so if you're a parent with a young child, it's a great opportunity for you to enjoy some physical activity together. And a whole range of fitness classes, from cycling classes, aerobics, strength building classes, body balance, Pilates, Zumba, there's just such a range and just such a great choice for you. So hopefully you'll find something that matches your interests within those centres. Of course, these centres could also offer, if they have indoor courts, they could be offering organised sports activities. So it may be a chance for you to join a social basketball team or a netball team, basketball team, something like that. And that would be another great way for you to meet like-minded people. Similarly, your council can also refer you on to all the local sporting groups in your area. So let's say you've moved interstate from Queensland, you were passionate about playing tennis and you would like to pick up your tennis racket again here in Perth. It would be advisable to contact your local council, find out where the local tennis clubs are and give them a call, send them an email, find out when they're running their social groups or their competitions and get along and join in. So in addition to libraries and recreation centres, you'll also find that local councils offer a range of programs and events out in the community. So these could be held in parks, in your local neighbourhood. At the moment we've had our council bringing events to our street, such as a disco on the back of a truck. So these events are held usually through, special times throughout the year. Some of them could be smaller activities that are offered on a regular basis, such as a park play for mums with young children, giving them a chance to socialise and interact. For young people, there are youth centres. So these are great meeting places for young people just to drop in on a casual basis, hang out, play a bit of pool, compete on a Wii, have a chat to the youth officers and maybe even step next door and check out the skate park. So there's absolutely some great opportunities for your young people. So if you're a parent and you're looking for ideas for your teenagers, get online and check out where the local youth centres and skate parks are. And if you want to stay informed about any updates to these types of programs and events, the councils often provide an email newsletter that comes out on a regular basis. It might be fortnightly or monthly. So it's a great idea to contact the council, just let them know you're interested to hear about the latest activities as they change throughout the year, and register your email address so that you get the information sent to you directly. So that's probably a comprehensive summary of what you might find in your local council. So moving away from that suggestion, another great hub within our communities are local churches, and I'm very much aware that a lot of the churches are also about building community, and so they provide craft groups, support groups, social clubs, social outings, all connected to their church, but quite often you don't have to be a formal member attending their congregation to have access to their social activities. So if you drive past a church and you see a sign, often they've got these illuminated signs out now these days, mentioning a coffee and chat group or a craft club, then drop in, have a chat with someone at the church and find out exactly when they're on, what the entry fee is, what you need to take along, and you may then find that you'll connect with other like-minded women or people that also enjoy getting together in a safe environment such as a church. Okay. Right, I'll just move on now to a few options looking for activities through newspapers. So I'm just starting off with a few ideas that are not internet based, because I'm aware that not everybody has access to the internet. I find one of the greatest sources of information are our local newspapers. You'll find them available often for free at the end of the checkouts at shopping centres, certainly the local libraries, and perhaps in your senior citizen centres, places like that. So community newspapers are designed to deliver information to the local community, and local groups will advertise in them, will write articles letting you know what they've got on. They often have a calendar of events section which will list playgroups or a Probus meeting or a Rotary Club, those sorts of things that are happening in the local area. So some of the papers that I would highly recommend that you have a look out for are the Parents paper. So this is a great one if you're a parent of children up to the age of 12. They list a whole range of activities, events, different types of dance schools, drama schools. They have information in there about tuition for children. And every month this newspaper is produced for free. It has a calendar in the section at the back which tells you what's happening every day. And I believe too that if you go to their website, they also upload information from contributors who are wanting to let the world know about what they're doing. So that one's called the Parents paper, and that's available here in Perth. The other great resource are the community newspaper group. So if you get that one delivered free in your letterbox, rather than throwing it on the kitchen bench and leaving it there to collect dust, or taking it from the letterbox and putting it straight in the bin, sit down with a cuppa, have a look through it. It is often surprising what you will read about. You may find out about a local community garden who's needing volunteers to tend to the vegetables, if that's something that you're interested in. Or there may be a local like an animal haven that are doing some great work in the community, and if that's something that you're interested in, you could get involved. So when I say social activities, I'm thinking quite broadly about anything that is going to give you social connection, it's going to give you a sense of purpose, it's going to make you feel good about going and doing it, it's going to add some value to your life. So these resources may just open your eyes to opportunities in your neighbourhood that you weren't previously aware of. Another great newspaper that we have here in WA is the Have a Go newspaper, and this one is specifically targeted at the seniors population. I think it's for over 55, so I haven't confirmed that. But once again, if you're in that age group, perhaps you're in transition from work to retirement, or you've just recently come out of a long-term relationship and you're looking to connect with new people, the Have a Go newspaper is full of ideas of clubs, social outings, support groups that can be of benefit to you. And that newspaper is also available for free from shopping centres, libraries, senior citizen centres, and as such. So that one's called Have a Go. And then naturally here in WA we have our state-produced newspaper, the West Australian, and the Sunday Times. So they're more likely to advertise larger activities and events that encompass, the whole of Perth or the whole of WA, such as major fundraising events, school holiday activities for children, nature-based ideas, but also travel ideas and travel opportunities. So if that's a hobby interest of yours, then the West Australian or the Sunday Times is a great one to pick up, or to subscribe to and have it delivered to your door. Okay, so there's some simple ideas. Another one I'd highly recommend is just in your daily travels, as you're moving from home to the shops, or to a school or your workplace, just observe what's around you. You might see a group of people walking through your local neighbourhood, or you might visit your library, and as you walk past a particular meeting space, you might see a group of people doing an exercise inside, or meeting over a table playing some board games or something like that. If you're curious and that tickles your fancy, find the courage to just knock on the door, stop in, inquire. These groups love to welcome new members into their space. I would feel confident in saying that they'd be very welcoming and be very glad to have you pop in and just say, hey, I'm curious to know what goes on here. And you're most likely welcome to just sit in and observe, or join in for that session, or offer to come back the next week, however often they meet. So just be really observant as you're moving around. And if you're at a shopping centre, a library, a school, and they have a notice board, stop and have a read. These are fabulous places for groups, community organisations to advertise what they have on offer. So stop and have a read. If you've got a mobile phone, take a photo of it, then you've got the details when you get home. Or obviously jot down a name and a number so that you can follow through when you get home as well. Okay, so there's some, quite practical, easy ideas. If you are connected to the internet and you're quite savvy with the internet, then I'll give you some further websites and suggestions to make. Naturally, if you have a particular interest, so let's say you're into photography, you can use our good friend Google, put in the word photography clubs or photography groups, and just see what comes up. Often the clubs are listed geographically, and you can find one on a map that is close to home for you, or maybe on your way home from work that you can join. So obviously Google knows all, so put in your keywords and see what comes up. If you're on Facebook, again, you can use keywords to search for local activities. And I'm not a big Facebook user personally, but I have been told that there are local Facebook groups for the suburb that you live in, and that's another great way to find out what's happening in your local area, so you can do that. And then I'm going to now give you a few websites for organisations that exist primarily to socially connect people. So this is their core business, this is what they're passionate about, and they would love to hear from anybody who's looking to connect socially. So the first organisation I'd like to mention is one called Befriend, and that's spelled Befriend, and their website is www.befriend.org.au, and they're a social enterprise specifically designed to help Perth people connect to community. So they have hundreds of social groups that are run by volunteers who are passionate about a particular subject. So it could be anything from knitting through to scuba diving, whatever it is. And they exist at all different times of the day, the night, all different days of the week. And the really great thing is that even though we've been in social isolation, a lot of these groups have been able to go online. So they're still meeting through video conferencing style, and they'll soon return to face, I'm sure. And the other great thing is that if you have an interest in a particular topic and you don't see a group that exists, then they would welcome you to start one up and add it to their list of groups that they have. So that one again is called Befriend. I'll pop these web addresses in the chat at the end of the video, so they'll be available to you. There's another organisation that's very similar, and it's called Meetup, MEETUP, and again this is an online database of social groups and basically social groups that exist, I think, not only through Perth but throughout Australia, possibly even the world. And again, you can just simply go to their website, which is www.meetup.com, and pop in a keyword, or let's say you're looking for something to do on Sunday. You could even search by date and it would bring up the groups that are meeting on that day. So that's they've got hundreds and hundreds of groups listed on their website. So I would highly recommend trying Meetup. And another group, an organisation that I've recently heard about is Connect Groups, and they exist as a one-stop shop to find out about all the support groups that are available in Western Australia. So whether it is something that you need help with due to mental health reasons, or a disability, or an interest group, but mainly support groups, they hold a database of hundreds of support groups in Perth. So you can give them a call or go to their website, which is www.connectgroups.org.au, and they would be more than happy to refer you on to the right type of group to suit your needs. Okay, I've just got a couple more ideas. I'm just going to focus now on mothers with young children. As I said, if you're watching live and you have any other suggestions that you'd like to pop into the chat, could you do that now, please, so that when I just get to the end of my next few points, I can then share those comments with our readers and our watchers, viewers, I should say. Alright, so it's evidence has shown that mothers with young children are at risk of experiencing anxiety and depression and social isolation because they need to spend long hours nurturing their young baby or their young child, which often means days isolated in their own home with very little social interaction. And this can be a real shock to the system after working full-time or having a very active social life. Suddenly needing to be caring for a little baby means that you're not getting a lot of adult conversation time. So I would really, really encourage, if you're in that situation, that you find just even a couple of activities in your week that can provide you with a bit of structure, an opportunity to go and have a cuppa and a chat with another adult, and it will just give you a chance to perhaps find new friends who are living at the same experience that you are and going through the motions of understanding what it's like to be a parent in this world. So I would highly recommend looking at joining a playgroup. Playgroups are low cost, very accessible way to get together with other families, often set up really well for the kids so they can have some independence from you, exploring the toys, playing with other children, getting in the sandpit, playing with paint, maybe doing things that you're not comfortable doing with your child at home, Play-Doh, bubbles, all those sorts of things that kids love to do. And it gives you a chance to have a chat with other parents who may be going through the same joys and challenges that you are. And then by talking with those parents, you may then find out about other things that they're going to that would be of interest also to you. So if you're looking for a playgroup in your local area and you're not quite sure where to start, I would recommend contacting Playgroup WA. They have a database of all the playgroups in Western Australia and they can put you in touch with the ones closest to you. So you may even be able to push your pram or ride your bike with your toddler just down the road to a hall where there's a playgroup running. Another great resource that we have in our community are what we call child and parent centres. And again, these are a hub for parents. They are often a place where the child health nurse exists, a speech pathologist exists, and then community workers who are providing services for parents and children. So if you already are in connection with your child health nurse and you're familiar with a child and parent centre, then stop in, find out what they've got on offer. Again, they often have their own playgroups or support groups or educational workshops and classes for parents. So that would be something that you could connect into. And in addition to these centres, there are also other community family centres that are run by community committees. And then again, they may be a centre or a hall where lots of different groups hire the room for different activities during the week. So if you were to go in and find out exactly what their full program is, you may find there's something that suits you there. And there's also lots of great things that you can do with your child. So rather than thinking of an activity that you can just put your child into and you get to sit back and have a cuppa and a chat, which is lovely, it's also great to be able to interact and do things with your child. So consider things like parent and child swimming lessons, toddler gymnastics classes where your child is going to need you to go along beside them and assist them. Things like rhyme time and story time at the libraries are beautiful bonding times through stories and singing. Pram walks are fabulous for being outdoors and enjoying nature with your child. And I certainly know our local council provides park plays where they'll excuse me, their program staff will come to the park, set up a range of kid-friendly activities next to a playground or under some lovely trees, and you get to join in with your child and meet other parents. So, yeah, so listen, there are lots and lots of ideas, and I'm sure that I have missed some obvious ones as well, but that was just really to give you a brief introduction to what you might find in your local area. I'm very excited to advise that the Women's Health and Wellbeing Services own social program, Wellness Warriors, will be back next term, and this is a fabulous 10-week program that offers women a chance to go out into the community together as a group to a different venue every week, and we get to try a different physical activity. So it can be anything from yoga to Pilates to Zumba to tennis, badminton. What else can we've been doing? Yeah, look, next term we're gonna have things like self-defense, bushwalking, hopefully tennis. So the idea is that we're going to try 10 different things in 10 weeks. We get to have a bit of physical activity, we get to have a laugh, we get to have some morning tea time, and we're also finding out about what's in our local community. And at this particular time, when everybody's coming out of the restrictions around COVID-19, it is really important for us to be connected with our community and find out what's available. So tune in next Friday. I'll be going through that program in a lot more detail, so to whet your appetite as to what we'll be doing. And if you would like to register, registrations will be opening in a few weeks' time. And that's a program that I run, so when I'm not talking on Facebook Live, I love getting out in the community and being with women and having a laugh, getting active. So if you would like to be a part of that, you would be more than welcome. So I will tell you more about that next Friday at 1:30. So thanks very much for Annette joining me today, and to anyone else who may see this video at a later stage, if you know of somebody in your life that would benefit from some information about getting out there, being socially connected, please share this video with them. And if you have any further questions or comments, please put them in the comments section at the end of this video, or you're very welcome to send an email to me at Women's Health and Wellbeing Services. Excuse me, our email address is info@whws.org.au, I think. It's on our website. I think I've just quoted our website instead of our email address. Anyway, you can always look it up online. Alright, well, thanks again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week when I talk about the Wellness Warriors program. Bye.